Happy Spooky Month, everyone! It is I, Phantom Fazzy, and I am welcoming you to... drum roll! My Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Retrospective video! Yeah! I know this was a long time coming, but trust me, it is for the best that this one waited. For I probably couldn't have squeezed this out in a sufficient timely manner, so yes, we are doing this. I do hope all of you folks enjoy the video. If you like this video, I do appreciate, but what would very much help is if you would please kindly like and subscribe and turn on your bell notifications for more exciting new content. That would help me out a lot. So damn much. Thank you all for so very much. To those who are subscribed, I love you guys so freaking much. Now, let's begin. Five Nights at Freddy's 3, or FNAF 3 for short, is an indie point-and-click survival video game, and the third installment of the series developed by Scott Cawthon. It's chronologically the fourth game of the series that released March 2nd, 2015, and is the sequel to the original Five Nights at Freddy's, set decades after, you guessed it, the first game. You're a guy who signed up as a volunteer for a haunted house based on the decades-old rumors and urban legends of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This guy takes the role of a night security guard at Fazbear's Fright. That's the name of the location. Where it takes place in the overall timeline is summed up like this. "30 years all since happened. 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed its doors. The events that took place there have become nothing more than a rumor and a childhood memory, and a memory of a spooky things. But the owners of Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, are determined to relive the legend and make the experience as authentic as possible for patrons, going to great lengths to find anything that might have survived decades of neglect and ruin. At first there were only empty shells and a hook and a hand and old paper play doll, but then a remarkable discovery was made. He was found. The one and only animatronic was found. Springtrap. Bum bum bum. So yeah, that's pretty much the introduction and synopsis to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now we're going to get into some of the juicier details, like the lore and the secrets and everything. So, if you guys are enjoying this video, please like and subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications. Now, let's begin with the next part of the video. So, the gameplay for FNAF 3 isn't anything too unusual, unless you count the amount of green plastered in your face, which really, I do not mind that. What I do mind is the new guy, Phone Dude. As previously it was Phone Guy, but assuming you have played FNAF 1, then you know what happened to Phone Guy, which obviously we know did not turn out good for him. Unlike Phone Dude, Phone Guy will tell you valuable things to help you beat the nights. Phone Dude, however, really doesn't do that, which is a shame, really. Phone Dude, I felt, could have been so much more, but hey, who doesn't love a good surfer dude attitude? The first night isn't really bad per se, it's just boring, but it does help that you can learn the map and get your feeling for it. Unlike the first game, that has Bonnie heading at you the first night, or Foxy, if you don't look at Pirate's Cove long enough, and yes, that can happen. Once you beat it, the second night is where it gets really interesting. Phone Dude calls you to tell you that they have opened up a room in the back of an old Freddy's restaurant, and they have found an animatronic. This one we know now is Springtrap. a rotten puke green yellowish rabbit. Springtrap, unlike his counterpart, Bonnie, and the other animatronics before him, are more intelligent. And as you may figure out, he's hiding a little secret on the inside of him, in that metal shell of his. But we'll figure that out soon enough. The next couple nights aren't really super bad, unless you count the Phantom animatronics, which the Phantom animatronics aren't really hard to deal with. It's just you don't look at them or you don't notice them, and they can't kill you. They can't kill you anyways. They'll just disable your systems. Which, yeah, I forgot to tell you. You have the maintenance system. You have the camera system. And you also have a new system on the camera called an audio lure, which the audio lure is meant to attract Springtrap to different parts of the map. And, you also use it to make sure he doesn't get in the vents, which, yeah, the vents play a very big part, because if he gets in the vents, you're most likely screwed or fucked or, or jelloed or, whatever you'd like to call it. So it's best to make sure that he never gets in those vents. But, like I said, the maintenance system, the Phantoms can disable those systems. And if those systems go offline while Springtrap's coming after you, it can tend to be a little more difficult. And it's overall just really, really annoying. And sometimes it can be scary, sometimes, like I said, it can be annoying. Phantom Freddy, he appears walking down the hallway. Phantom Chica appears in an arcade machine. And after you look at the arcade machine with a creepy chicken face on it, you will get jump scared. Foxy shows up in your office, jump scares you. Phantom Balloon Boy shows up in your office after you see him on the camera screen, and he'll jump scare you really bad. If you look at Mangle, then she'll jump scare you. And if you look at the puppet, which she'll show up as normal, and then once you see her, she turns into full Phantom mode as she appears in your office, and she keeps you in her face for the next couple seconds that you have to fight against her. And it's annoying, really, because each Phantom has their own kind of unique way of attacking, but there are ways to combat fighting them. You don't have to, face them. You can do things to make sure they don't jump scare you. Like Chica, just don't look at the camera that she's at. With the puppet, you do the same thing. With Balloon Boy, you do the exact same thing. But what makes it difficult is that you have to look for Springtrap, which then it's kind of hard not looking at the cameras because you have to look for Springtrap. I mean, Springtrap, honestly, if you don't look at the cameras, he'll swerve somewhere, and then you can't see him because he'll hide in corners and little nooks and crannies. Yeah, he's like a little toddler on Thanksgiving. Like, you can't even find him because he's hiding from you. Or like a little kid on Christmas Eve. I mean, he really is a jittery little shit. And the only way to really combat Phantom Freddy is really, honestly, you just don't look down the hallway when he shows up. And he doesn't jump scare you right away when you're looking down the hallway. It takes him like maybe 0.1 second. If you're looking a little bit, he can duck and jump scare you. But if you see him and then you look straight at the cameras and now look at him, then he won't jump scare you. So Phantom Freddy's pretty easy to combat. Phantom Foxy, not so much, because he will just appear in your office and there's no way to avoid him. If you look one part of your office, that's over. You're done. It's time to go home. It's screwed up. And really, it's all about luck. The gameplay for FNAF 3 is luck. And so there's not really much you can really do. There's not really much strategy like the other two games. There's not really strategies. So you have to really, really be lucky and make sure, you don't die. And if you're not lucky, then, well, that sucks for you because you're on your way to Pound Town if you're not lucky. And that is not a good way to go. So the nights go as follow. You fight Springtraps and his goons, the Phantoms. There is secrets, though, in these nights. there's a little Easter egg to where if you collect a Balloon Boy poster, you can go into an arcade minigame called Balloon Boy's Air Adventure. And that is the start to a span of multiple minigames. And that is just one of many. You'll find Mangle's Quest, Chica's Party World, Stage 01, Shadow Bonnie, and these are all different nights. And the whole point of those minigames is you have to find the missing kids and deliver them cake so you can set them free. It's really cool, actually. And on night 5, you will learn something very valuable. And this is also between the other nights. You'll also find that there are these mini games where you can play as Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. And you follow Shadow Freddy to the back room. And once Shadow Freddy gets you, then you're dead. But it's actually not Shadow Freddy, it's more like Purple Guy, but that's a whole nother can of worms. And after Purple Guy dismantles all the animatronics, after the end of each night, you will find that on night 5, you show up as a ghost. And you go to the back room, and you find William Afton, the purple guy, running for his life, trying to make sure, the ghosts don't hurt him. Then he jumps into that looks familiar. Isn't that Springtrap? Oh, yes. William Afton is Springtrap. The purple guy is Springtrap. And those rare screens you see, were him the whole time. Him gasping for air, trying to get out of his robotic metal tomb. But sadly, that's not gonna happen for him. Because guess what happens? It burns to the ground. Yes, Fazbear's Fright burns to the ground at the end of the game, after you beat Night 6. Yes, there's not really much to do after Night 6, because you pretty much got both the endings. And yes, there is another ending, which is the default ending, and that is the bad ending. But if you want to get the good ending, then you got to do the mini-games, which are hard to handle. They're kind of tough to do, but after you learn how to do them, they're pretty simple. And you get a really good ending at the end of it. A set of all the animatronics, their heads laying on a table or something. I don't know what it is. Their eyes are, unlike the bad ending, their eyes being lit and glowing. The good ending, their eyes are not lit, signifying that those souls of the missing kids are set free. And they are not haunted anymore. Those animatronics are not haunted anymore. And is good, because those kids deserved it. And honestly, if you play through the first 2 games, it really is crazy to think those kids were stuck in those tombs for God knows how long, and then you set them free, and it's it feels really, really good. And you don't really get that in a FNAF game, but FNAF 3 has, and I still think has a really, really great story. And for that, I would say FNAF 3 is probably one of my favorite games. But, let's continue on to it. So, secrets, honestly, I already talked about the secrets in the gameplay, which are the mini-games. And among other things, there are secrets that you can get when you finish the 6th night, which is actually not called the 6th night in this game. It's called Nightmare Mode. And the extra secrets you can get is you're able to look at the full scale of the animatronics, the Phantoms, and Springtrap, and you're able to look at the mini-games, replay the mini-games over. You can look at the jump scares, or if you want to, you can use cheats, which those cheats allow you to have fast nights, give you a radar so you can see Springtrap wherever he's at. Aggressive, where you can make Springtrap and the Phantoms super aggressive, so their mechanics are super unpredictable and they just come at you in all force. Or, you could have no errors, which means the Phantoms can't screw up your maintenance system and screw up your cameras, which is a good thing for you, because if you want to go easy, then that's a good way to go, because, you don't have to, you don't have to really, fight with anything or try to fix things. You can just cheat your way through it. But yeah, those are the only other secrets in this game. So, I'll say it again. FNAF 3, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was great. I thought it was amazing. I honestly thought the lore was great. I love the gameplay. I love how the lore was infused with the gameplay and made it really lively. Like, the Phantoms being these hallucinations of, the past and whatnot. And, or ghosts of, the past. And overall, that's creepy. And now Springtrap, the lore implications of him being smart and him being the killer, the guy who started those murders, and the guy who ripped apart so many families, is hunting you down and looking at you dead in the face with his cold, dead, metallic eyes, is honestly the most creepiest fucking thing possible. And is what makes FNAF 3 for me stand out the most. And the sounds, the fact that the danger music that plays when you are trying to fend off the Phantoms and Springtrap sounds like there's breathing. Yeah, I dare you to go back and listen to the danger ambience and listen closely. You can hear what appears to be metallic or metal breathing. And honestly, I think that Springtrap's breathing, or Afton trying to breathe. I don't know why, but it sounds like it's breathing. It could be nothing, but it sounds like there's breathing. And yeah, FNAF 3 just has a lot of lore and gameplay in it. And honestly, that's why I think FNAF 3 for me is the most replayable out of all the games. I love playing FNAF 3. Even though I get pissed off because Springtrap fucking kills me every single second of the week, I still love it, because there's just not a day that goes by that doesn't make me think of FNAF 3. And it really goes to show that FNAF 3 really made an impact on my life. Also, for lore-wise, for the Five Nights at Freddy's lore currently, if FNAF 3 didn't exist, we wouldn't have ever gotten, William Afton being a robot, animatronic, a zombie, or, we wouldn't have gotten the whole idea of Remnant bringing somebody back to life, which is the exact way that Afton comes back to life, and is the exact way that the children from the Missing Children incident come back to life. And without FNAF 3 and without all the other things in FNAF 3, we probably would not have gotten the lore of what it is today. And that really goes to show that FNAF 3 was a huge stepping stone in Five Nights at Freddy's lore. It was a huge step. And after that, FNAF 4, which added more lore onto it, and FNAF Sister Location, which I'll do videos on later on. But FNAF 3 is an icon in the franchise, and it's extremely fucking underrated. And people who hated it, you should really go back and play it. I beg you to go back and play it. Just give it another chance. Because I will say that if you give FNAF 3 a second chance, you might look at it different. And you might not think that it is the way it is, like it was before. That there was a lot of impact to it. There was a lot of impact on the franchise. And all the things you like in FNAF nowadays, for some people, FNAF 3 started it. So, yeah, FNAF 3 was a huge stepping stone in Five Nights at Freddy's. And if you don't think so, well, just go back and play it. And go back and try to do all the secrets. I bet you're going to end up loving it. Anyways, yeah, so that's my closing statement. I don't really have much to say, except, yeah, it's really crazy that we've made it this far. And the fact that FNAF is the way it is today, And I do believe that it would not be the way it is today without FNAF 3. FNAF 3 was just so damn awesome. I love it. Alright, well, hey, if you guys like this video, like I said earlier in the video, and honestly, I hope you guys enjoy this a lot, because I put a lot of effort into this, and I feel really happy about this. Like, this really made me happy doing it, because I wanted to talk about FNAF 3 for so long, because FNAF 3 is one of my favorite games in the franchise, and I love it. And there's not a day that goes by where I don't think of this game, like I said. And it's crazy that this game, hell, I don't even know how old it is now, but I'm old, because I remember playing this when I was 13. So I'm old. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this was Fazbear Lover here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.